because it looked like Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over. It looked like she took the city over.
People are showing up just to witness Caitlin Clark. It's like she's the damn Beatles.
Angel, pray up. Me, Reese, I hope you listening. It looks like that line was for my precious CC. How she pulled up in your...
Remember that awkward Reebok promo where Angel Reese tried to act tough with her "come to your trap, take over your trap" line during All-Star Weekend in Indy? Yeah, that one. Well, it's time to give credit where it's due, because Caitlin Clark didn't just show up to that so-called trap. She marched in, turned the lights on, and ran the whole show like it belonged to her. And all this happened while Angel Reese was nowhere to be seen, conveniently sidelined with another one of those mysteriously timed injuries. You couldn't script it more perfectly. Clark walked right into what was supposed to be Reese's domain and turned it into her own playground, all while the hometown hero disappeared during the biggest spotlight moment.
Caitlin Clark spent 20 minutes signing autographs. She made her way 2/3 of the arena. She signed literally hundreds of autographs. She signed hundreds of autographs. And if you guys didn't see that game today, there were as many Fever fans as there were Sky fans.
The whole situation felt straight out of a movie. Like someone planned every frame to make Reese look like an afterthought. There was Caitlin Clark in the heart of Chicago, drawing mobs of fans outside the United Center like a rock star on tour. Now, while Reese was nowhere in sight. Officially, she was out with a back issue. Unofficially, nobody's buying it. Meanwhile, Clark was out there meeting kids, signing hundreds of autographs, posing for pictures, and transforming the streets into a full-blown Indiana Fever fan zone. And what was Reese doing? Posting vague messages online, trying to spin her absence while the moment slipped right through her fingers.
Now, see, this the real version of walking your trap and take over your trap. Look at this. Look at that.
Oh my God.
All them jerseys. I would hate Caitlin too. And I wasn't even aware. Wasn't this supposed to be Barbie night or something? Come on, Caitlin walked in and took over, and she didn't even play.
The trap Angel Reese claimed as hers. It got completely taken over, not through trash talk or theatrics, but through skill, poise, and undeniable star quality. If you've been watching and can finally see the difference between marketing hype and authentic greatness, hit that like button and drop a comment saying, "I've got the fever," because from here on out, the divide between Caitlin and Angel only grew clearer. Let's get into it.
So Caitlin Clark is not playing the game. And like, by the way, like, people didn't know whether or not Caitlin was playing that game until the very end. There are hundreds of fans that were there to see Caitlin Clark play on the off chance Caitlin Clark would be able to sign something. She was there. She spent like 20 minutes autographing everything.
What happened to Miss Angel Reese? She's all in Indiana during All-Star, and her Reebok campaign, "come to your trap, take over your..."
You honestly couldn't script a worse comparison for Angel Reese, even if you tried. Caitlin Clark, injured by the way, was out front interacting with fans, delivering everything people hoped for and more. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, who's supposed to be the face of Chicago basketball, was completely invisible during what was arguably the most anticipated weekend of the season. In her own city, this is the difference between building a career on your own merit versus riding someone else's wave. Eventually, the spotlight reveals the truth and exposes who's got real staying power and who's just playing dress up as a star.
I think this is what it means when you walk into your trap and take over. She in your city. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot about that tweet. I forgot about the tweet. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. I just realized that. I'm like, oh my God, there's no way they came out.
But here's where the contrast becomes undeniable. Caitlin Clark didn't even play in the game. She didn't need to. Her impact was so big that just being in the building caused a frenzy. But her teammates? They didn't miss a beat. They decided it was their turn to shine. And oh, did they deliver.
Money Mitch put him in a ditch, and Michaela Timpson treating the Chicago Sky like a bunch of Simpsons. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Might be scorching hot right now. You have been so good on the road lately. 6 straight games, 24 points a game. How are you off to another hot start in a hostile environment?
I think about just staying in rhythm. And when I stay in rhythm, about being aggressive. So as long as I'm aggressive and being myself, They make it easier for me.
Kelsey Mitchell came out looking like she had something personal to prove, and zero tolerance for any distractions. From the jump, she was electric, hitting long-range shots from seemingly every spot on the floor and playing like a woman on a mission. She wrapped up the night with a blazing 35-point clinic, including 7 made three-pointers that lit up the Chicago arena like fireworks.
Kelsey Mitchell, 7 for 10 from the three-point line off the start, 8 points quick. You knew, oh, Kelsey Mitchell's hot today. Oh, Kelsey Mitchell's hot today. This might be her game. Let's keep the hot hand in. Let's keep the hot hand going. Let's set her some big body screens, get her open. Kelsey Mitchell, she did it all. 7 for 10 from the three-point line. She got to the rack. She got to the free throw line, carving up the defense, looking like a little snake, how she just slithers in and out of that defense. Kelsey Mitchell, salute to you.
This was more than just a big night. It was a statement. Mitchell turned enemy territory into her personal training ground and made it crystal clear. The Indiana Fever aren't just a one-star team. They're deep, focused, and dangerous. And here's the kicker. They didn't even need Caitlin Clark running the offense. This victory proved that Indiana's got options. Mitchell grabbed the baton and carried the squad with the confidence of a seasoned leader. No hesitation, no fear, just pure excellence. Sending a loud and clear message: don't count us out just because Clark's wearing sneakers and a hoodie.
She lit them up. I mean, she was on fire. On fire. She couldn't miss. I mean, everything was in the flow of the offense. Effortless, man. We gotta give love to Kelsey Mitchell. 12 of 19 from the floor, 7 of 10 from 3, 35 points. Straight stirring the pot. Stirring the pot. She was cooking their ass today. Kelsey Mitchell was on one. She was on one. She was a plus 25 for the game. The Chicago Sky are a flat out joke. This team is terrible.
Aaliyah Boston wasn't just on the court. She owned the paint. Her 14 points and 11 rebounds weren't flashy highlight reel material. They were surgical. She turned Chicago's interior defense into a total mess. The Sky's bigs had no answers for her footwork, strength, or court awareness. Every time she touched the ball, it felt like a masterclass in making talented defenders look totally average.
Cardoso running the floor, gets denied by Boston, returning the favor. Boston finds the cutter. It's Timpson who lays it in. That ends the 11-0 run. Here's Mitchell. Slips it in, wide open Boston, and tracks it back down. Off to Boston. Backdoor, Mitchell the cut, and the finish. Tough bucket from Kelsey Mitchell. Get Kelsey Mitchell.
While Boston held things down inside, Ari McDonald stepped up off the bench and made her presence known once again, dropping 10 clutch points and playing with fearless energy. She wasn't even supposed to be a key piece this season, but she's writing her own legacy with each game. But this wasn't just about stats. What separated Indiana was the poise. They didn't sneak out a win, they owned every quarter. They set the pace, controlled the rhythm, and crushed every hope Chicago had of gaining momentum. Every time the Sky showed life, Indiana slammed the door shut. It wasn't just a victory, it was a warning shot, a disciplined, dominating, no-nonsense display from the opening tip to the final buzzer.
Here's Mitchell, who has 15 in the quarter and a season-high 6 made threes. Hull will fire and hit at the horn. Big finish to the third from Indiana.
The final score read 93-78. But if we're being real, it felt more like a 30-point demolition. Indiana was superior in every phase of the game. Shot selection, rebounding, passing, defensive pressure, energy. You name it. And the wild part? They did all of that without their franchise player even stepping on the court. That's what legitimate threats do. They don't fall apart when a key player's out. They regroup, level up, and crush whoever's in front of them. Now let's talk about Chicago. This was their chance to bounce back. They had home court, motivation, and urgency. Instead, they crumbled. They looked completely overwhelmed by Indiana's crisp execution and relentless pace. Indiana shot nearly 50% from downtown, the Sky barely 31%. And that's not just a number, that's a reflection of something deeper. Preparation, mentality, culture.
Let's go. Yep. Get that. Be able to sit. The really good thing about having quality depth is when you don't have it, somebody else does. And KK? Hey! Yeah! Way to step up. Chloe, great job coming in. Good job. Lex, way to come in and make an impact. Kels, just downtown, Kels. Downtown.
Indiana's bench deserves its flowers too. Michaela Timpson and Lexi Hull came in and did exactly what great teams need. Solid minutes that kept the intensity high. They weren't just subs filling space. They maintained the level of play, gave the starters some breathing room, and didn't allow the standard to dip. That's huge during a playoff push. You can't burn out your stars, and Indiana knows it. Their rotation stayed tight, their energy stayed up, and their defense was elite. They forced 17 turnovers and made Chicago uncomfortable from the jump. Every possession was a struggle for the Sky. They were out of sync, out of rhythm, and always reacting, never dictating.
Indiana run after Chicago had cut it to 2. Poked away by Timpson. There's the deflection. Off to the races. Timpson finishes strong, forcing a timeout from Chicago. A 9-0 Indiana run, and the lead is back to 11.
Michaela Timpson, the rookie, all season long, when she's gotten minutes here and there, has made the most of them. We've seen it on the offensive end. Then here, just getting her arms in the passing lane, the deflection, finishing a tough look.
And let's be clear, this wasn't a one-off bad night for Chicago. This was their 5th straight L injuries. Rotation confusion, questionable coaching, it's all falling apart. What was expected to be a playoff-worthy squad is now barely staying afloat. They're not just losing, they're losing faith. You can see it in their posture, their communication, their execution, and the coach. They look like someone witnessing a slow-burning disaster they can't fix. Now it's decision time for the front office. Blow it all up or keep pretending that some magical turnaround is coming, because at this pace, they'll be lucky to finish ahead of teams who've already checked out of the playoff race. Meanwhile, Indiana's blueprint is working. Discipline, vision, chemistry, the Fever are laying a real foundation. Chicago, they're patching leaks on a sinking ship. This wasn't just a win for Indiana. It was a tutorial, a power play, an example of what a strong, sustainable team culture looks like. And for Chicago, it was a brutal reality check, a full-length mirror reflecting every weakness, every crack, every excuse. They didn't just get beat, they got exposed.